Yung 'di ba yung heartbroken si Ayu dun sa first love niya, tapos umuwi siya ng Jeju, nagdrama-drama. Tapos dun after niya magdrama-drama, umalis na lang siya without saying anything to the parents. Nag-iwan na lang siya ng mga regalo. A quiet expression of her love. Tapos parang drama-drama din to si Guanxing tsaka si Esun na parang, sige, okay na yung anak natin. Cut to, may nag-doorbell. Tapos yung nandun na yung anak nila na parang, ma, pa.
Grabe, sobrang classic.
May kasama.
Buntis po siya.
May kasama.
Tapos ayun si Esun parang, hindi, wala akong nagiging.
Kumuha ng walis yung tatay.
Correct. Ang ganda ng balance ng comedy at ng...
Oo.
Kasi ang bigat talaga. Kasi kung mabigat talaga siya. Pero
actually,
it
ano
lifts you
siya?
out.
Very noticeable yung after niya mag-hard drama, patatawanin ka niya.
As in, LOL kasi. Pwede kasi matawa ka na parang ngingiti ka lang kasi umiiyak ka eh.
Correct.
Pero yung umiiyak ka, tapos tumatawa, ahalang ka.
Ahalang ka talaga.
Correct.
LOL nga.
1, 2, sarang!
Hey! Annyeong! This is Pia.
What's up, everyone? This is Trency, and welcome to another episode of 1, 2, Sarang! Woohoo!
Hello, everybody!
Hello! Sarang Base! Okay, I have one beautiful question for you guys. Beautiful or traumatizing? Can be both. What is the worst trait that you got from either of your parents? Ano yan?
Umpisa pa lang, ganito na kagad. Ganito na kagad. Okay. Dahil sa mga trending sa TikTok, ang sagot ko dyan ay, somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety. Bra. As in, yung lahat ng bra na yun, parang lahat ng mga face ng, not just my parents, but even the grandparents before them, lahat yun gumaganon. My anxiety. Yes,
I love
bra.
I love it. Grabe, passed on from generation to generation.
Correct. It's up to me to cut it. Ganon.
Yes, correct. The healing starts with you.
Wow.
I love it. Ako actually, it is also the bra. Mga anxious mothers, and they're even more anxious, and ang tawag dito, parang ako, insecure child.
Oh no!
Kasi siya kasi, yung nanay ko kasi is a very successful woman. You know what I mean? You know, she's a boss.
So, bata ka pa lang, na-feel mo na yon na parang, shit, kailangan ko maging boss, ganon?
Hindi, parang feeling ko, shielded ako masyado. So, I relied too much on her protecting me. So, nung pinasok ko na yung real world, parang, I didn't feel secure enough. Parang may ganun. Parang, yung confidence niya kasi ibang level eh. So it was
more than yours? You're so confident, girl.
Confident lang ako magpatawa, pero hindi ako confident makipaglaban. Tulad ng nanay ko na napupuntang Senado. Alam mo yun?
Oh my God. Yes.
Nakikipagbangayan sa mga senador.
Correct. Let's go. Heidi Mendoza para sa Senado. Ganyan.
Yes. And para sa mga nakikinig, political po kami because art is political. Boom.
Yes, K-drama is political. Hallyu is political.
Yes, oo.
Everything is political.
Okay,
go.
Even how we're raised. At dun tayo babalik sa ating, kung paano pinalaki tayo ng ating mga magulang. At sobrang na-emphasize ito sa isang recent K-drama na ating napanood. At ito ay top 10 sa Netflix. And actually, inabangan din siya ng maraming tao even before it dropped. Because it stars the great Ayu. The great Ayu talaga. The third. Ayu the third.
Wait lang, speaking of Ayu, bakit wala tayong Monica ngayon?
Ay, oo nga pala.
Ang ating biggest UA na dito sa One to Sarang.
Correct. Kailangan nating, unfortunately, hindi siya makaka-join. Tinry niya. Kaya lang, alam yun, mas importante sa kanya ang history ng Pilipinas. At ang pagko-convey nito, hindi ang history ng character ni Ayu sa K-drama na to. Ang history ng Pilipinas. So, wait, ngayon pala, mag-promote na tayo. Guys, manood kayo ng Quezon. Kasi,
correct. Dahil literally, nandun siya, like, in the physical Quezon. Sa Tayabas.
Yes.
At ginagawa rin niya ang pelikulang Quezon. Huwag niyo siya masyadong mamiss kasi babalik siya soon.
Oo, babalik with full force. Yes. Kasi miss na niya kayo. At miss na niya ang kanyang Hallyu world.
Correct, sobra. Hindi pa siya nakakanood nito.
Ay, naku. Anyway, Diyos ko, Lord. O, yun. So, baka balikan natin pag nakabalik na si Mon. Wow! Isang malaking vlog. Okay. So, yun nga. So, wala si Mon, unfortunately, pero pag-uusapan pa rin natin, tuloy pa rin ang usapang Ayu for today. At kasama ni Ayo? Si Ayo? Ayo? Kasama ni Ayu dito sa K-drama na to. Of course, ang favorite natin na si Park Bo-gum. Kaya, inabangan talaga natin tong K-drama na to. Ang K-drama nito ay ang When Life Gives You Tangerines. From Netflix. So, pag-uusapan natin yun today. But of course, dahil wala si Mon, kailangan meron tayong third person. Hindi pwede. Kailangan the trio must be complete. And that's why we invited a very, very special guest. Ang kanyang return sa ating One to Sarang. Our very, very dear friend from 20 years ago. Pero ang sinabi niya sa amin kanina, pag naiisip daw niya kami as one blob na. Hindi na as individual people.
Individually. Sorry. At kailangan ko lang din sabihin na yung anak ko, ang tawag sa kanya, parang nag-Freudian slip minsan. Sabi niya, Mom, remember si Tito Jongmin? Tito Jongmin? Sino si Tito Jongmin?
Yes.
Okay siya nga.
Oo. At sa mga sarang base, kailangan nyo talaga siyang kilalanin. Kasi para talaga siyang si Jongmin a lot of times.
Yes.
But if you want to know him more, punta po kayo sa Gold's Gym.
Fitness first.
Fitness first pala. Sorry naman.
Ay, mali.
Sorry, punta pala kayo. Erase. Punta yung fitness first. So, i-welcome natin sa ating episode na to ang aming dear friend, guro, at isang Les Mills body pump instructor, si Mr.
Zumba.
JJ Ignacio.
Hi,
Hello,
JJ.
Oh, annyeonghaseyo.
Yeah.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Saranghae. Maraming salamat sa
Saranghae.
imbitasyon. Miss na miss ko na kayo.
Oh, talaga ba? Sino kami? Sino kami?
Individually.
Oo. Ito ang ating mga questions for this episode. Din pag-uusapan natin siya. So, dahil this show is such a very emotional, parang cathartic kind of K-drama. Di masyado, no? So, I wanna ask you guys, what were your feels after watching When Life Gives You Tangerines? And what are your standout scenes or moments in the show that really struck you? To the point na umiiyak na kayo ng dugo. Cheka. Okay. And then, my second question is, so the director called the show a story about love. Ultimately, for him daw, it is a story about love. So, what lessons on love hit you the hardest? And then, eto din, sa show na to, parang lumabas ang phrase na may intindihan mo rin yan pag tumanda ka na. So, hindi lang siya exclusive to the Filipinos. It's also a very Korean statement from the parents. So, was there ever a moment in your life when you finally said, okay, tama pala si mommy at si daddy? And lastly, I want to ask you guys, and siguro for our listeners to also ponder on this as well. What would you want to say to your 80-year-old self? Baliktad tayo. 80.
80.
To your 80-year-old self. Okay. So what will you tell yourself? Kung mag-time travel ka, you go to the future and you meet your 80-year-old self, what will you tell them? Ayun. Okay. And then of course, we're not gonna end this episode without a game, and it's gonna be fun. Okay? Mamaya, malalaman nyo kung ano siya. Kaya abangan nyo, because it's gonna be a lot of poetry happening. Wow, poetry.
May prize ba yan?
Ay, may prize! Pride.
Tangerines.
Tangerines.
Oo. Kiat-kiat. Wala tayong Jeju tangerines dito. Kaya kiat-kiat. Care of Robinson Easy Mart. Downstairs. Okay. So, yon ang ating questions for this episode. Pero before we also get into the answers, pag-usapan lang natin ng konti kung ano ba itong show na to. As I've said, When Life Gives You Tangerines. Okay. So, tangerines pa lang, alam mo na it's set in the wonderful island of Jeju, where hopefully the three of us can find ourselves in the future. Yes. Okay. Yes, let's go. So the show follows the lifelong love story of Ae-soon, played by Ayu, and Gwang-shik, played by Park Bo-gum, their younger selves, beginning in 1960s Jeju Island. After Ae-soon loses her mother, she's taken in by Gwang-shik's family, and their bond grows amidst life's hardships. They also marry. With Ayu and Park Bo-gum playing the younger couple, as I've said, the drama captures love, resilience, and the passage of time. So, isa siyang kumbaga para siyang 100 Years of Solitude minus the
Correct.
minus the magic realism.
Yung sa title lang din niya na When Life Gives You Tangerines, apparently, parang it depends also kung saan ka based, parang tinatime, parang, because in Jeju dialect, diba, parang ang ibig sabihin niya, parang you worked hard or something.
Yeah.
Thank you for your hard work. Parang yun yung literal translation, although sa Turi siya. Tapos parang sa atin, when life gives you tangerines, because obviously when life gives you lemons, pero tangerines for the Jeju connection. Pero parang depending, parang I think in Thailand, meron din parang nilocalize din siya in a certain way, China. So parang the way they thought about the title as well. May ganun akong nabasa somewhere. Sa mga sarang base na alam ninyo yung different versions of the title, let us know. Because I found that interesting. I saw that somewhere na parang ang galing lang how they were able to localize it and translate it in a way that's relatable to the person seeing the title for the first time.
So dapat pala sa atin when life gives you
Chico.
Chico. Ano yung natin local
wala kasi
citrus?
tayong word sa you worked hard. Meron ba tayong ganung pang-encourage sa isa't isa?
You work hard?
'Di ba? Parang ginalingan mo, besh. Pwede bang gano'n na lang?
Ako yung ginalingan mo, besh.
Padayon.
Padayon.
Netflix, hire us.
Oo. Okay, so ang cast nito ay, of course, as I've mentioned, si IU. And IU actually, as I mentioned earlier, is a chameleon in this show. So she plays Oy Sun, the younger version, and Oy Sun's daughter, si Yang Gum-yong. Okay, so you'll be seeing two kinds of IU in this show. Ang sabi nung director, the reason why they cast daw IU in both those roles, kasi they really want us to see, kumbaga parang they're kind of the same person, like physically, kasi yun, magkamag-anak sila, pero at the same time, sobrang magkaiba rin nilang mga tao. So parang I guess para mas ma-emphasize yung difference. Dahil isang tao lang sila, kita mo yung difference ng pag-uugali.
Pero feeling ko may practicality din yan kasi IU is such a big star.
Exactly.
Tapos kung ikakast mo lang siya dun sa older version, parang Park Bo-gum, parang
sayang.
Bitin.
Parang
bitin.
So,
yun nga kasi Bogum nga nakakabitin din, di ba?
Yeah,
parang
minamaximize na lang nila si Bogum through through yung mga
flashback,
yung mga recurring scenes niya.
Correct.
Pero si Ayu talaga, piniga talaga nila. Feeling kasi mahal din yung talent fee niya.
Naman.
So talagang pinakinabangan nila. At sulit naman, di ba?
Correct.
Ang tagal natin siyang inabangan bumalik din sa K-drama.
Correct.
So yes.
Tama. Might as well.
As well.
Si Ayu, ang younger version, anong older version niya is played by Moon Sori. So, she is an actress. Nakita natin siya sa maraming shows, but she was in Oasis, A Good Lawyer's Wife. Ang partner naman dito ni Ayu, si Park Bo-gum, who plays Yang Gwan-sik, ang kanyang childhood love. Na pinakasalan din niya. And they raised a family together. So, kaya pa ba natin explain kung sino yung Park Bo-gum? Is there a need? So si Park Bo-gum, as we all know, he was from Reply 1988, and ang recent namin na pinag-usapan siya dito sa One to Sarang is in Wonderland.
Nag-research ang popular na si Park Bo-gum. Pero I think nagkaroon siya ng massive a fresh batch of massive following because of this drama. May nakita ko kanina sa X na parang may mga nagpo-post na yung mga bago niyang dramas, tas yung mga medyo may edad na K-drama followers nire-repost yung mga old clips niya from Reply 1988 tsaka yung Love in the Moonlight, yung teaser niya na sumasayaw siya.
Correct! And ang kanyang older version, Yang Gwan-sik is Park Hae-jun. So he is an actor from World of the Married and The 8 Show, I guess, ang pinaka-recent niya. This is the first time I've actually seen him. Ever.
Sa Hindi mo siya napanood sa World of the Married?
Hindi ko pa napapanood yun. Hindi ako mahilig sa mga ganun kasi na mga
can I just say,
yung
World of the Married, isa siya sa mga dramas na talagang hindi ko makalimutan.
Wow.
Talaga?
Sobrang tumatak siya sa akin. Tapos,
really?
Grabe yung talaga.
I'm on episode 5 pa lang right
grabe
now.
yung visit ko sa kanya. Galit na
galit
ako
gets.
sa kanya talaga. Tapos ngayon talaga, nung napanood ko na itong nag-iba yung pananaw ko sa kanya.
Ang galing ng management niya para palitan yung ano niya kasi nakilala siya as like the nation's adulterer, diba?
Correct.
Because of the world.
May ganun siyang persona. Unfair.
Tumatak siya talaga.
Walang iya talaga siya sa world of the married, to be fair.
I wanna see him there now.
Anyway, sige, for another usapan. Pero yun, kaya dito parang, okay, model dad siya bigla. Gets very good sa management niya for that.
In fairness.
Smart
Oo. Okay. So, doon tayo. Sa mga gustong maging drama actors, doon po tayo sa management ni Park Hee-jun pumunta.
Correct.
Yes, they will take care of you.
Yes.
Okay. And last na lang na dalawa na very impactful din ang characters na to sa show na to. Of course, natin kakalimutan ang nanay ni Oh Hae-sun, si Jong Gwang-rae, ang kanyang henyo mother, played by Yong Hye-ran, na sobrang kilala din natin in many, many K-dramas, and she's an amazing, amazing actress. You can find her in The Glory. She's also in Alchemy of Souls and The Uncanny Counter. Oh my God, I completely forgot na nandun siya.
Napag-usapan namin lahat yan. So, pakicheck ang among episodes about that.
Ito, pwede natin pagdebatihan to pero feeling ko talaga next to IU, siya yung yung isa sa
Girls,
mga...
sa akin siya yung number one.
Ay,
or you can even say that. Magaling.
Mabilis lang siya, but the impact is impacting.
Yes, in. Okay. And lastly, ang pseudo, natin dito, villain sa show na to. Si Boo Sang-gil, ang yung ex-lover. Hindi mga ex-lover, muntik ng pakasalan ni Oh Hae-sun.
Muntik ng pakasalan.
Played by also a very familiar face, si Choi Dae-hoon. Sobrang familiar siya. Pero I've seen him mostly
nasa
in
Crash Landing siya, di ba?
Correct.
So he was in Curtain Call and Extraordinary Attorney Woo. And Crash Landing, as we've...
Hindi mo babanggitin yung surprise cameo, quote-unquote, at the end. Like,
tama, ba't natin kakalimutan yun?
Parang hindi siya sinama sa mga promos, kaya it was such a pleasant surprise na, oh my God, what is this gift?
Correct!
Thank you so much.
The gift
Sino?
On giving. So, ito na nga ang surprise. Ang pangalan ng asawa ni IU, ang eventually naging asawa niya. Sorry, pero ano pala to? Dapat pala nag-ano muna ako. Spoiler alert. Oo, dapat spoiler alert po tayo. Okay.
The revival.
Ang character niya dito ay si Park Chung-sop. Okay, so siya ang spoiler alert, big spoiler alert sa mga
siya yung
nakikinig.
napangasawa.
Siya ang eventually mapapangasawa.
Although, can I just say,
ni IU na si Yang Gum-yong.
Ang lala trend, sinong ang lala nung pagsimpatya ko dun sa First Love.
Talaga ba?
Kasi mahal nila yung isa't isa eh.
Hindi enough para sa akin. Anyway.
Mahal nila yung isa't isa eh. Pero yun nga, hindi siya pinaglaban.
Oo.
Hindi siya napaglaban.
Kapag mahal
pero
mo,
willing siya
ipaglalaban mo. Hindi siya willing kasi hindi niya ginawa.
Hindi, di ba nung towards the end na, yung eksena nandun sa may kotse tapos nagsusnow. Sabi niya, willing na siyang maglayas na sila, sabi niya. Tas
pero parang too little, too late na siya.
Too late, pero I agree, too late na. Too late na.
Ang
nasaktan na yung nanay eh.
Correct, totoo. So ito na tayo sa ating mga questions. Okay, dahil kating-kating na tayong pag-usapan siya and all our feelings about it. Okay, so unahin natin, what are your feelings nga after watching this show? Ano ba yung mga standout scenes, mga standout characters and actors for you? So simulan natin kay JJ. Ano ba? Bakit ka ba nandito at bakit ka ba namin in-invite? Kasi nakita ko sa mga posts mo sa Facebook na tuwang-tuwa ka dito sa show na to. Bakit?
Tagal na ako naghahanap ng drama na may engage talaga ako.
Oo.
After nung pandemic, pakonti yung drama na natatapos ko.
Yes.
Mostly because medyo back to normal na tayo, di ba? Ang dami na kumakain ng oras natin. Ang hirap na magsingit ng, unlike nung pandemic, kung kailan ako talaga na-engross sa K-drama. Kasi ang dami-dami kong oras nun. Then one Saturday morning.
Wow, I love it!
Actually, before ko siya panoorin, nakita ko na yung trailer kasi si Netflix nagpapa-trailer, diba?
Correct.
Tapos usually yung mga algorithm ko sa social media, it's either pusa or mga K-drama. Or mga Korean content. Pero ang pinaka nag-pick ng aking PIQUE ng aking
gurong-guro eh.
Tama.
PIQUE. Nag-pick ng aking attention ay ng aking interest ay si yung IU at yung Bogum na
Combo.
Kasi yun yung una nilang binandera.
Correct.
Na nandun ang bida ay si Ayo at si Bogo.
Mm-mm.
So, ang una ko nakita poster. Tapos nakita ko yung trailer.
Correct.
I think 1 minute.
Oh.
Hindi ko masyado type yung trailer. Parang, ano nangyayari dito? Para siyang historical na. Tapos eto pa, hindi ko talaga type yung mga historical na Korean drama na nakaset sa Japanese war. Yung mga ganong early 1900s. Hindi, just because hindi ko type yung aesthetics, yung design, yung mix of Western and
Eastern,
old Korean, traditional Korean design elements. Hindi ko lang type. It's a personal taste na hindi ko gusto. Pero just because it's a Bogum and an Ayu drama, sabi ko I'll give it a chance. Then comes this Saturday that I was mentioning a while ago.
Okay, what happened this Saturday?
One Saturday morning. I remember, lumabas na. Friday night lumabas, di ba? Friday night siya lumalabas. Tapos nakita ko, nandyan na kay Netflix. Sinave ko. Nakalagay notify me. Tapos notify ako, nandyan na. So,
Thank you, Netflix.
Thank you, Netflix. So, pinanood ko na nga.
Tapos?
Tapos eventually, una hindi ko, medyo na-weirdoan ako. Ba't yung opening matanda? Puro matatanda.
Correct. Kung for the agent.
Tapos biglang, and I think it is a very smart move na yung unang episode is about the relationship of Esun, tama ba? Esun and her mom.
Yes.
Kasi doon nagmula yung lahat at doon yung foundation ng kanyang buhay, ng kanyang pagkatao at yung mga desisyon niya in the succeeding episodes ay naka-base doon sa relasyon nilang magnanay.
Yes.
Ang ganda-ganda nung wala pang ang Bogum nung first episode eh.
Wala pa masyado.
Nung una
Parang
hinahanap
towards the
ko,
end.
tapos eventually hindi ko na siya hinahanap nung first episode kasi ang galing ng nanay. Ang galing ng nanay. Bargas na nanay, pero mapagmahal na nanay. Pinapalayas na niya yung anak niya kasi alam niya dapat hindi niya mabubuhay, meron siyang bagong asawa, tapos alam niya yung mas mabubuhay si Esun dun sa pamilya nung namayapang tatay, di ba? Pero nung nalaman niya, number 1, na inaape, hindi binibigyan ng isda si Esun, inaalipin, number 2, at number 3, ito yung di ba, yung precursor, yung nabasa niya yung tula, nagagalit siya na I will buy you I can't wait to grow up, tapos I will buy you your time. Parang may sinabi siyang ganun, tapos sinugod na niya. Halika, dito ka na tumira, bumalik ka na dito. Tapos ang ganda-ganda nung depiction na yon, at saka ang lungkot-lungkot.
So nahatak ka because of the acting.
And akala ko dati mahahatak ako because of Ayu and Bogum, but eventually ang isa sa mga hinahanap-hanap ko yung mga recurring scenes with and with her mom.
Correct.
Anong thoughts mo dun, Pia?
Well, first, I wanna say that this K-drama has unseated my favorite K-drama of all time, which was Reply 1988.
Wow!
Like,
that's big.
ito na talaga yung
it.
number 1. And nung nabanggit ni JJ yung na mas nagsa-stand out yung mga recurring scenes na yon. Surprise, we have a friend who's not a huge fan of K-dramas. But she actually watched this because her best friend had the same statement as me na favorite din niya to over Reply 1988. And I'm talking about Ella. So we have this friend, she's a huge movie fan, she's a film buff and everything. Hindi siya mahilig kapag K-drama, parang K lang, ganon. And she actually gave this a try and we were talking about that, how especially their relationship with the sea. Ang gandang metaphor ng tubig and Jeju, and how much you hate something but at the same time, you need it to survive. That's what makes you alive. So parang, yun yung sa akin na parang, if you could get through the first few episodes na nakakapagod panoorin. Actually, hindi ako nahook sa first tranche ng labas eh. First 4, ang sigawan kasi masyado. As in, sigaw lang na sigaw, nakakapagod siyang panoorin. Pero parang, sige, let's push through. after you get through that, na parang same lang din sa journey ko, The Reply 1988, kailangan mo tapusin muna yung first few episodes, tapos you'll really like dive through it. So parang after ko nang mag-surrender na, okay, it's that kind of K-drama. Sigawan lang sila lahat. As in, grabe talaga yung pag-depict nila. I love how it's a story that spans generations. And it's not just the story of people, but also of the place you're in and how that affects everything. And how that also affects how mothers make decisions, how kids make their decisions, how everybody wants to get out of this island. Kasi parang siguro mahilig din ako dun sa mga ganong mga stories, yung parang trying to get away.
Yes.
Tapos pag nag-get away ka, ma-realize mo na, wait, home is home. Yung mga ganyan, ewan ko, sobrang, I really like how everything was laid out. And honestly, yun nga, si Mommy, yung pinaka-super favorite ko dito. And sa akin, siya talaga yung favorite character ko that stood out. Every time may mga flashback sila sa Jeju, kapag magkakasama na yung mga henyo, nandun sila sa dalampasigan, yung ganon. As in, yun yung mga sobrang mas gusto ko na scenes na just like JJ, I'm not a fan of like mga medyo mas luma, mga historical. Pero ito kasi yung mga nag-stand out. Like, yung batang Esun tsaka Guanshik. Sobrang favorite ko yung si Guanshik na sunod lang ng sunod kay Esun. Na parang, anong gusto mo maging paglaki mo? Ako, magiging presidente ako ng Korea. Ikaw, first lady.
Cute.
Yung mga ganon, parang mas favorite ko yun. As in, I feel like this was a success of the writers and the director more than the actors. Yun lang yung feeling ko dito sa K-drama na to. Ayun lang, in general.
And to add, and since na-mention mo na rin, kailangan i-mention kung sino ang director and yung screenwriters nito. So, ang director nito ay si Kim Won-suk and ang screenwriter is si Im Sang-chun. Si Kim Won-suk is actually a prolific director.
Yes.
So, he's actually done Miseng, which is also a great drama.
Fantastic! MC1! I love him! Yes.
As in, if you really want to watch a K-drama na, for me, honestly,
Office.
Parang a cut above the rest. Office, pero iba yung timpla
pero
ng
it's about
Miseng.
life.
But it's about life. You should watch Miseng. And Signal! My goodness, na magbabalik na sana soon.
And the writer is also the writer of When the Camellia Blooms, and
which is
as
also
well
so
as
sa pa yun.
As in, puro mga desang winners.
Correct.
And may isa pa, siya rin yung My Mister, diba?
Wala siyang
Ay, hindi siya si My Mister. Okay, Fight for My Way pala.
So, this writer has done When the Camellia Blooms, Fight for My Way, and 3 other medyo unknown. So, I guess, kasi kanina before we got into this recording, parang we were talking about, ano ba ang draw nila? So, I guess maybe the director is also a big draw. I mean, lahat nung nagawa niya has been, and the writer too. Kumbaga parang, if you're an actor, like, coming into this, you as in, sobrang saya ng experience mo. Because, like, you have such a great text that actually, parang when there's this, like, YouTube video that I saw of the cast talking about their experience sa show, and, yung si actress si Moon Sori, the older Aesun said na parang the lines felt like poetry.
Yes.
As in, whenever you talk about, as in talagang parang, sabi nga nung isang guy, si Park Hae-jun, the older Guanchik, sabi niya, kaya it was a little bit harder to express the lines kasi it's not your usual way of speaking. Kasi nga, parang it's coming off as poetry kasi may rhythm daw siya.
Correct.
So, parang...
Which, honestly, ewan ko kung ako lang yun, pero minsan may mga parang nagsasalita pa tas walang subtitle sa Netflix. Ako lang ba? Lalo na yung mga VO. Kasi may mga parts kasi you could hear the poetry tas walang lumalabas sa subtitle. As in, nafa-frustrate ako kasi may saturi pa. I mean, di naman ako magaling mag-Korean, no? Pero kasi yung mga, lalo na yung mga VO ni Ayu na medyo may saturi, hindi wala akong maintindihan na Korean word. Wala man lang ma-make out. Netflix, please fix the subtitles.
Hindi na, mga bagay na hindi ma-translate.
But they can try. I guess.
Oo, for our viewing pleasure. Anyway.
Dagdag ko lang, Trency. Dagdag ko lang kasi yung question mo is ano yung feels? Ano yung mga feels tungkol sa drama? Inisip ko, ano yung feels? Nalungkot ako, natuwa ako, nagalit ako. Tapos, nung nakita ko kasi yung tanong, tapos nagre-reflect ako, anong feels? Parang na-feel ko yung lahat ng pwedeng ma-feel. And then come to think of it, it's para sa documentation of life from young age towards the end of nung life ni
Esun.
Esun.
At ni Guanxi.
So come to think of it, naisip ko, para siyang epic. As
Correct.
Epic
of Gilgamesh.
Epic poetry, na sinaklaw niya yung isang buong buhay.
Correct.
Isang buong
generation,
spanning different generations. And it's about a life well lived.
Yes.
It's a summary of a life well lived in 16 episodes.
Correct.
To add siguro doon, parang what it doesn't try to show you the perfect life. Wala siyang ganun pinapakita. It just shows it as it is. And I think for me, kaya rin ako na-hook kasi parang may mga moments na parang feeling ko, ano ba tong si Esun? Bakit ba siya ganyan? Parang yung utak ko, parang fina-fight niya yung fact na she's an imperfect person. Alam mo yun? And the rest of them are also very imperfect. But then that's the beauty of the show. Kasi parang what you see is what you get. Alam mo yun? You cannot, kahit nabida sila, and that, as characters, they're written as people who are very loyal. Alam mo yun, they care for their family, they have so much love to give, their love is so passionate and so parang fierce, but at the same time, they're just still people. Alam mo yun, they have their own flaws. And I like that it's not being hidden here. Alam mo yun, parang until the very end nga actually, parang kumbaga wala naman silang resolve, you know what I mean? Parang yes, as, like may conflict yung mother and daughter, si Esun, tsaka si
Gumyong.
Si Gumyong, ganun. Parang it's not completely resolved because in life, these things in family, it doesn't need, there are things that need that kind of, diba? Pero sometimes it is just what it is and you just need to live with it.
Yeah.
And like live life the best possible way that you can.
Yeah.
So,
and also like how, sige, we can call like the supposed husband of Esun the villain. But in essence, if you look at it, there's no villain. It's just them living life, making decisions based on what's happening to their circumstances. Sobrang hard relate po.
Correct. Alam mo, hindi ko alam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Parang wala masyado dito sa dramang ito, wala yung usual Korean tropes. Yung mga nakaka-cringe. Pero minsan hinahanap mo siya depende sa tipo ng drama. Minsan hinahanap mo, pero ako pag nakikita ko, meron na namang ganyan, yung episode, magkakahiwalay sila, magkakasalubong na lang pero hindi magkikita yung mga usual Korean tropes na usually nakikita mo in different K-dramas. Wala dito sa dramang ito. Kasi nga, tulad nung sinabi ninyo, it's reality. It's about a life.
Yeah.
Correct. And at the same time, it is also very depicted in the most unrealistic way. It's just so beautifully shot. Like everything, the cinematography is so great. Like, wala si Monica Sibel dito para mag-comment on the color grading. But I will attempt with this comment that ang ganda lang ng pagkulay nito. And like,
lalo na yung field of canola.
Oh my gosh,
flowers.
yes. Oh my God. And then yung last scene, yung paakit sila ng hagdan, tapos biglang nag-spring. So, naging pink yung mga flower.
Ang ganda. Ang sakit-sakit napaka-bittersweet nung eksenang nun. Hirap na siyang maglakad. Tara, tingnan natin yung mga flowers.
Before, sige, ganito. Parang before we get to like the other questions, I just want to ask para lang to kind of like round out this question about our feels about the show. What's your favorite scene of all of the scenes in this K-drama?
Siguro, basta nandun siya sa pinaka-top. Madami kasi talaga akong favorite Pero yung pinaka nag-resonate sa akin right now is yung kasal na ni Gumyong. As in, like, that was just so beautiful and that gave me so much tears. Kasi sobrang, ang ganda lang nung buong scene na yung pagkakadepict na parang nung nasa labas siya, naghihintay na siya para itawag siya to walk down the aisle. Tapos nun, yung dad niya, si Guanxi, yung buong montage na, kung ayaw mo, you can just back out. Daddy's here. And then may buong flashback na nung lahat ng mga moments sa buhay, sa buhay niya, na sinabi yun ng daddy niya sa kanya na kahit anong mangyari, your dad will be here for you. ang ganda-ganda ng montage na yon. Cut to her walking down the aisle and then yung dad niya looking back and seeing her grow up in front of his eyes from a little girl going to like the IU na IU talaga. To the Gumyong who is now ready to get married. And ang ganda nung basag nung buong scene yung basag na biglang parang yung character ni Sono was like, sabi ko sa'yo, yung tatay mo yung iiyak sa kasal eh. And then si Ayu yung parang umiiyak na, umiiyak yung tatay ko. Tapos iyak-iyak siya. Tapos parang si Sono was like, itutuloy pa ba natin to? Tapos parang si Ayu, ikakasal tayo. Ang ganda ng break eh. Yung parang iyak na iyak ka, tapos tatawa ka. Pero I love how they were able to make it because like, a wedding is as much a parent's occasion as it is the
wag mo sasabihin yan kay kay Padilla.
Kay Dennis Padilla. Punyeta siya. Wag siyang kapag absentee father ka, wala kang karapatan. Kung abusive parent ka at husband, wala kang karapatan.
Panonood ko lang nung interview ni Marjorie.
Pero ang ganda lang nung buong execution, nung buong ang ganda din, very simple acting, walang OA, medyo nuanced. And it just really spoke so much to me and just showed everything from different perspectives. Kaya ang ganda. Isa yun sa mga favorite ko.
Ganda nun. How about you, JJ? May naisip ka na ba?
Dalawa na naalala kong eksena na parang hindi ko makalimutan. Ang una, ang pangalan nun si First Love. First Love.
Yung First Love niya.
Si First Love, di ba? Tapos hindi na sila nagkatuluyan dahil sa nanay ni First Love.
Correct.
Tapos may sequence doon na yung nanay nakaupo sa sofa sa bahay. Tapos umuwi si First Love. Matanda na siya, syempre. Tapos apparently lasenggo na siya. Tapos
correct.
yung nanay parang sinasabi niya na, bakit ka ba parating ganyan? Lahat na lang ginawa ko para sa'yo. Tapos parang sinabi ni First Love, ginawa mo ba ito para sa akin? Di ba, ikaw lang ang masaya nung kinasal kami ng asawa.
Yung flash forward.
Tapos ang ganda nung pagkakagawa.
Ganda nga.
Nung eksena yun. It's about regret and generally reflection about
ganda nung scene na yun.
Ganda nung eksena. Ang ganda din ng background music. Okay. So, ang sakit lang nung eksena. So, yun yung isa. Tapos yung probably pinaka-favorite scene ko nung nalaman natin na na-reincarnate yung nanay.
As the editor.
Siya pala yung publisher, siya yung editor, editor. Tapos, hindi, sabi niya, binabasa niya yung tula, tapos sinasabi niya, hindi ko alam ba't ako naiiyak at bakit parang proud ako sa kanya. Tapos nag-montage ng mga flashbacks na yung mga eksena na maliit na bata na nakuha ng singsing.
Correct.
Na yung
yun.
bumili dun sa palengke. Siya pala yun.
Correct.
At nagkatotoo yung wish nung mami niya. Kasi nung simula, di ba, sinabi nung nanay niya na maging boss ka. Gusto niya maging ng desk job. Nangyari sa kanyang reincarnation. Ganda-ganda.
And then to add, 'di ba parang may mga recurring statement doon sa show na parang I think si Gumyong towards Aesun na parang ang sabi niya is what if you were given a better life than what you have now? Alam mo 'yun? Na parang what if actually kay Guanxik din, sinasabi rin niya kay Aesun na parang, what if hindi kita kinuha? Alam mo, hinayaan kita to flourish and be the woman that you could possibly be. Alam mo yun. And then, yung nanay, and I like that na merong ganong kind of like spiritual, magical quality towards that scene. Kasi parang, alam mo yun, ang ganda lang na may ganong pagkapasok. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao naniniwala sa reincarnation, but it's such a nice fuzzy feeling to kind of sort of be implied na, alam mo yun, her dreams for her mother came true in a way kasi nga naging boss siya. So,
Correct.
It's so nice.
Speaking of the mom as well, isa din yun sa mga sobrang favorite scenes ko, yung reveal kung bakit si Lola binilhan ng boat si Esun tsaka si Guanxik.
Yes.
As in, sobrang, ang ganda-ganda kasi, yung sobrang saya ni Ayu, nabuntis pa siya, diba? Na parang, eto na!
Ingay niya.
Di ba? Ang ingay niya. Very Rosana Roses. Very Bakia, di ba?
Grabe naman, Ayu as Rosana Roses.
Di ba?
Nawapoy siya doon, ha?
Sobrang wapoy, sobrang bakyang-bakya, di ba? Yung nakaduster na malaki yung chan na, eto na kami. Kapitan na yung asawa ko. Yung ganun, yung parang the joy of that. And biglang yung reveal, like, okay, sa utak ni Esun, binigay sa akin ng lola ko kasi first granddaughter ako first grandchild ako, deserve ko to. Pero hindi niya alam yung deeper na, hala yung nanay niya nakiusap, umiyak, nakipag-usap talaga na ibigay mo to sa kanya. Pag humingi siya ng tulong sa'yo, ibigay mo to sa kanya. Yung reveal na yon sobrang grabe din talaga yung impact sa puso ko na ang galing lang din talaga what parents do and how it affects everything.
Yeah.
Bago siya mamatay, no? Inasikaso niya talaga.
Correct.
Suot ang kanyang blue twin set.
Correct.
And the thing is, parang she put on her best self.
Exactly.
Alam mo yun? Because I mean, you know that that's something that she will do like siguro 0.001% in her life, and she will only do it for the right reason. Alam mo yun? And the right reason is her daughter. Siguro sasakyan ko rin yung statement na yun kasi biglang nag-flashback sa akin yung scene na yun. Naputang na sobrang nakakaiyak. Ito yung nasa photo studio sila, di ba? Oo. Sa ano yun yung uso ng photo studio sa atin natin, Viz?
Yes.
Sa Hias Photo Studio siya. Tapos nun, and then, di ba yung lola, when she was about to pass away na, parang medyo nagkaroon siya ng ganong klaseng bumalik doon, tapos kaya may ganong klaseng full circle moment. I really love yung mga ganong injections. Ano mo yun? Na parang, kasi parang it helps you realize kung ano yung relationships ng mga tao.
Connections.
Yung connections nila and how deep it goes. Ano mo yan? And people, they might be in conflict with each other, but end of the day, ani pa nga ng director, it's all about love. And alam mo yun, the people are so imperfect, but if they function and, believe in love, parang they'll find common ground. And yung common ground nila ay yung anak niya, si Esun.
Tsaka ang amazing, no, yung connection, yung status nila sa present. Paano nag-start doon sa mga, nare-remind tayo doon sa mga flashbacks.
Ang ganda nung pagkaka-inject na ng mga flashback. Sobra. Now that we're getting so deep into this, at nafe-feel ko na we're all feeling a lot of stuff already. Because the show really brings that out of you. Medyo, I feel nga it's cathartic. May ganun siyang, it really pulls it out of you. Alam mo yun?
Yes.
May point na parang tang-ina masyado ng MMK. Pero parang at the same time, it is also very real.
Yes.
So, ito ang isang real question for you guys. So, this is a story about love. Ano ba nga lessons on love hit you the hardest?
Parang since napag-usapan din kanina yung si first love ni Kumyong kung bakit ako, parang hindi talaga siya yung para doon. Kasi love can make you do things you never thought you could. As in, it's just, kapag mahal mo, makakagawa ka ng paraan. Kaya mong mag-swimming galing sa barko papunta sa isang dock. Kaya mong tumakbo at humabol ng bus na pagkalayo-layo. Kaya mong tumalikod sa pamilya mo and humarap doon sa asawa't anak mo para lang kumain sa kanila. Yung mga ganyang mga bagay, because it's just so simple. Like, a lot of people, especially nowadays, like on social media, you could see like, wag kang magpakatanga, wag kang, kunwari, like simple as, if the person is flying out to another country, bakit ka magpapakatanga na sasama ka sa kanya? Mga ganon na parang, girl, kasi kung mahal mo yung tao, tanga talaga eh. Gagawin mo talaga yun. Ganon talaga yung pag-ibig na parang it can be as stupid as jumping from a ship to swim to the dock, or as simple as turning your back to your family and declaring that this is my family now. Correct. Diba?
Ano siya? Triathlete.
At hindi lang siya mabilis lumangoy. We have to say na yung tenga niya ang galing makarinig. Ang layo ng diba narinig niya? Guanxi!
hula ng hangin. Ang sabi kasi ng Lord of the Dragon King of the Sea na
correct.
It must be heard.
Diba? Paabutin natin sa tenga niya kahit puno itong barkong to, siya lang ang makakarinig nun. Ganon. Pero yun, na parang love can really, honestly, it can move mountains. Ganun lang. And it doesn't have to be as big or as small. If you love someone fully and unconditionally, it can change your life. It can change lives. It can change parang tradition even. Sobrang the power of love. I love how it was depicted here.
Nasa katwiran din naman kasi sila. Nasa katwiran at nagiging feeling ko yung mga magulang nakasubscribe sa old societal norms nila. And ayun.
Nakakatawa pa yung scene na yun, diba? Yung parang si Esun, kala mo naman, chebol ka kung makapagsalita naman. Di ba yung ginanon siya?
Yung pera?
Tong nanay mo, chebol ka ba? Di ba nagbebenta lang naman kayo ng isda?
Correct.
Para sabihin mo, hindi ako worthy. Parang gano'n. Ako nga may cabbage farm.
Correct.
Ako may lupain.
Oo, ikaw anong meron?
Alam mo, kung mahal mo talaga, pinaglaban mo na from the start. Like, as simple as, di ba yun nga yung nagsaserve sila dun sa lunch nila.
Yes. Oo, grabe yun.
Sobrang, di ba? Simple things like that. Stand your ground. Pakakasalan mo na nga tapos hahayaan mo pang sira-siraan ng nanay mo. Anyway, ayun.
I thought they were actually gonna be okay. Kasi parang may isang scene, di ba, na yung mom and yung mom ni okay, pangalanan na natin si First Love. Siya si Park Yong-bom. Okay, played by Lee Jun-young. So, akala ko yung mom ni Park
nagsumpaan na sila, di ba? Yung meron sila eksena sa harap ng train.
Correct. Oo nga.
Magpapakasalan kita.
Pero, I think going back to nga yung original na thought ko kanina when we were mentioning this in the first part of this conversation, I think it was also very important to show na she didn't end up with him. Kasi parang she wanted, like, as a lot of, daughters are, sabi nila, we usually marry our fathers or a semblance of who they are. But then, I guess she had to break a norm, kung ganun. Parang she had to fall in love with someone that she like really chose at hindi yung reflection ng tatay niya.
But wasn't Sonho's character in essence just like her dad? Kasi kung nagmahal, buong buo. Swerte na lang siya na yung in-law, yung nanay ni character ni Sonho, gusto rin siya. Pero parang at the end of the day, like it doesn't have to be the exact same journey.
Correct.
But the kind of love, because she grew up seeing how her parents love each other and it's
That's
buo.
True.
And parang yun yung nakuha niya dito dun sa character ni Sonho na parang buong-buo lang talaga. Tinakbo niya lahat. Hinabol talaga siya. Para lang, yung mga ganon na parang it's that sort of love that she knew she deserved and that's what she got in the end also. And that's
parang
what she chose.
Tama naman. Parang kumbaga si Sonho, it displayed the core of what her father is. Kasi parang yung si First Love kasi parang on a surface level lang siya parang yung tatay niya. Na parang kumbaga young love, ganon, na parang it doesn't necessarily have, young love isn't the best love for you. Alam mo yun. And sometimes it makes you not the best person pa nga.
Diba may conversation pa sila noon sa car, yung parang sinabi ni Esun sa kanya na you have to choose me or her. Parang ganon. Tapos parang he was like, that's not an easy decision to make. And then she was like, my dad made that decision.
Correct.
And he chose my mom. So, ganun lang din kasimple. Na, kaya hindi talaga yun parang yung tatay niya. Kasi hindi siya pinili eh.
Totoo yan.
Yung sinabi ni Pia, di ba? Hahamakin ang lahat.
Yes.
Ganun ang pag-ibig. Hahamakin ang lahat.
Ay, Francisco Balagtas.
Maabot ka lamang or maibig ka lamang. Talagang handang mga big, kaya mong gawin ang malalaking bagay kapag mahal mo ang isang bagay. Pinakita siya, malinaw na pinakita ng drama. Pero tingin ko, ang nagsustain talaga doon sa, yun yung nagpasimula, yung malalaking bagay. Di ba naalala niyo may isang eksena si Bogum na nagsispeech siya, tas nagbakil-bakil pa siya. Na apparently, totoong bakil-bakil pala eh.
Ay, talaga?
Nakalimot talaga daw siya. May interview siya eh. May interview siya. Sinabi niya na,
yung nostalgia ba?
Yung naka-red siya.
Hindi to yung nostalgia poem speech?
I think yun. Yung nagbakil-bakil siya. Tapos sinabi niya doon sa isang interview niya sa YouTube, actually sabi ni Ayu, akala namin totoo part yun ng acting mo. Tapos sabi niya, hindi, nalimutan ko na yung lines. But anyway, so yun, pinakita yung grand gestures, gagawin ko ang lahat. Pero, ang tingin ko higit doon, ang nagsustain talaga ng pag-ibig, nung relasyon ay yung mga maliliit na bagay, mga tahimik na bagay, mga moments na hindi nila kailangan magsalita. Nandun lang sila sa piling ng isa't isa, sa hirap at sa ginhawa. It's in the quiet moments, in the challenging moments when they choose to stay with each other's company.
Yeah.
Yun, ang ganda nung depiction nun.
Another one. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Just to add to what JJ is saying, like another very silent, pure, simple way of showing that love. Yung nung after ng anak ni Ayu, tapos yung ni Gumyong, tapos dumating si Esun tsaka si Guanxik dun sa kwarto. Tapos nun, todo report ang character ni Sono na kesyo ganito, yung baby, yung ganito, yung baby. And then they were like, no, how about Gumyong? We're here for our daughter.
Correct.
Yung ganun kasimple na pero, parents love. Uunahin muna nila yung anak nila. As in, sobrang simple lang nung pagkakagawa ng eksenang yun, pero sobrang tagos na tagos din yun sa akin. And dahil nabanggit yun, tawa din ako dun sa prior scene, yung si Sono, yung parang, nung hirap na hirap niya yung character ni Gumyong manganak, diba? Tapos parang si Sono, hindi na tayo magbe-baby.
Ang ganda
nung, diba? Ang ganda na nung break. Kasi as in, umiiyak pa ako from the, yung pinagdaanan ni Gumyong. Tapos biglang bigla siyang nagganon. As in, LOL. Anyway.
I really like, ito, spoiler alert. Actually, naman spoiler kasi we all know na lahat naman ng buhay aabot sa punto na yon, which is, us leaving our loved ones in this mortal realm, And speaking of the quiet moments, I really like that scene na yung si Guanxik was already going through his chemotherapy treatment and yung packet siya ng stairs, which honestly for me, parang ako like, sir, bakit tayo nagsistairs? Wala pa siyang ramp.
Diba?
Tayo magka-wheelchair, ganon.
At the hospital?
Okay, at the hospital? Like, why do you allow yourself to go
Nasa Seoul kasi sila. Di ba sa Seoul puro
Lagyan naman ng ramp sa ospital. Wala bang PWD friendly?
Baka nasa bundok.
Oo. Pero now that you're
mentioning
about the quiet, sa Namsan, the quietness, that those scenes, kasi parang medyo montage siya, it just felt very, very quiet for me. And nakakatuwa yung mga moments na yun because like it's really in the quiet that you really parang feel more.
Actually, at saka trends hindi lang yun towards the middle and end. Sa simula pa lang, diba?
Yes,
si Guanxik, nandun lang siya, tahimik lang siya doon sa
nagdadala lang siya ng isda.
Halos tinataboy na nga siya ni Eson. Ano ba? Naiirita siya
At
sa
siya
kanya. Pero
ang
simula pa lang,
pinaka-semblance.
Tahimik siyang nandun lang.
Correct. Quiet
Very
love.
consistent.
Quiet love and still love.
Dinadala ng
Steelheart.
pagkain.
Steelheart.
Totoo, si Steelheart. Ako siguro to add lang, parang yung yung thoughts ko about love for this is, parang love is, yun nga, parang they're very imperfect people. Pero parang, and sometimes, especially with family, you just accept each other for who you are. And, for me, siguro tago siya sa akin kasi it's also a learning experience from the past few years na, especially with our parents, parang it's very hard to expect a lot because, alam mo yun, they also come from their own stories. They're not just your parents, they're also their own people. And they also went through a lot of things. And sometimes they can't give you what you want. So, parang you revel in the love that they can give. And accept the love that they are able to give to you. And that is enough. And, alam mo yun, parang, kaya, doon sa mga scenes na parang, pag inaaway nila, kasi, parang, ito lang yung kaya ibigay sa akin. Tapos, minsan nga, nakakainis pa si Esun, kasi parang sobrang lakas ng favoritism niya. Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Pero she's coming from her own experience din kasi, na parang, like, that's her dream. Yung anak niya is her, that's what she wanted for herself.
Correct.
Alam mo yun, living vicariously.
Pumunta sa mainland.
Correct! Sa mainland. And, to be a very successful woman writing poetry, which she eventually accomplished later in life. But you just accept them for who they are.
Tsaka yung pagmamahal, hindi siya perfect ha. Pwedeng nagkakamali din ang pagmamahal.
Yes.
In the same manner na si Esun, di ba? Akala niya yung pagmamahal niya ay yung parang hindi niya sinasadya na yung idea niya of pagtatapos sa university and all that and achieving things na nasundan ng panganay na anak at hindi masyado nasundan ng pangalawang anak.
Correct.
Diyan lumalabas yung favoritism. And ergo, si pangalawang anak ay nagkaroon ng insecurity na medyo na naghahanap siya ng paraan para ma-satisfy yung kagustuhan ng mga magulang niya. Pero until nag-erupt na nga, diba, na nagkapaon-baon sa utang and all, hanggang sa nakulong na. And doon na, nagkaroon ng confrontation. Nasabi niya na, gusto ko lang kayong pasayahin.
I want you to
Nagkaalaman
see.
na.
Yes.
Gusto ko makita ninyo ako, pero, at inamin ni Eso na,
yung pagkukulang din
first
siya.
time din namin maging magulang.
Totoo yan. Alam mo,
First
sobrang
time namin
kailangan
maging
yan
magulang.
parating ulit-ulitin sa mga utak natin.
Correct.
Lahat tayo, ang mga magulang natin.
First time na maging magulang.
Pero sorry, quickly na lang din. Sobrang isa rin yun sa mga favorite ko na scenes, just to go back. Yung, di ba, yung heartbroken si Ayu dun sa first love niya, tapos umuwi siya ng Jeju, nagdrama-drama. Tapos dun after niya magdrama-drama, umalis na lang siya without saying anything to the parents. Nag-iwan na lang siya ng mga regalo. A quiet expression of her love. Tapos parang drama-drama din to si Guanxing tsaka si Esun na parang, sige, okay na yung anak natin. Cut to, may nag-doorbell. Tapos nandun na yung anak nila na parang, ha? Bakit? Nandito ka? Bakasyon mo na ba? Kasi naka-enlist sa military. Tapos parang,
Grabe, sobrang classic.
May kasama.
buntis po siya. Parang gano'n. Tapos ayun si Esun parang, hindi, wala akong nagiging.
Kumuha ng walis yung tatay.
Correct. As in, tawang-tawa. Ang ganda ng break dun sa iyak-iyak dun sa buong scene ni Gumyong na umalis na siya, healed na siya sa heartbreak niya, okay na siya. Tapos parang, hindi, wala ako nagiginig, wala. Tawang-tawa ako dun sa buong, na yun. Ang ganda execution. I love that.
Maganda yung mga na-point out mo na scenes kasi talagang, ngayon ko lang na-realize na ang ganda ng balance ng comedy at ng Kasi ang bigat talaga, kasi kung mabigat talaga siya, pero
actually,
it lifts you out.
Very noticeable yung after niya mag-hard drama, patatawanin ka niya.
As in, LOL kasi. Pwede kasi matawa ka na parang ngingiti ka lang kasi umiiyak ka eh.
Correct.
Pero umiiyak ka, tapos tumatawa.
Halang ka talaga.
Correct.
LOL nga.
Okay, so pinag-uusapan na nga natin ang mga parentals, di ba? And may isang part sa show, at actually maraming part sa show na parating minimension ni older Asun sa kanyang mga anak na may intindihan nyo lang yan kung ano nangyayari. Kung tumanda na kayo or maintindihan nyo yan pag magkaanak na kayo, which really struck me. Kasi parang it's a very Filipino thing din to say.
Correct.
So, parati natin narinigin sa mga magulang natin na malalaman nyo lang pag magkaanak ka na or malalaman mo lang yan pag tumanda ka na. So para sa inyo guys at para sa mga Sarang Base out there, baka gusto nyo rin pagnilayan. Was there ever a moment in your life when you finally said, okay, tama ka pala, mommy. Tama ka pala, daddy. How about you, JJ?
Ako meron.
Ayan.
Ako meron.
Sige, go ahead.
Naalala ko nung nasa elementary ako. Bagong labas yung PlayStation nun. Tapos syempre, sa Ateneo, di ba? Halos lahat ng kaklase ko merong PlayStation. Pinag-uusapan yung PlayStation nun.
Correct.
Mga graduate tayo nun ng family computer.
I love it.
Graduate tayo ng SNES, ng Game & Watch. And then, all of a sudden, merong bagong game console, yung PlayStation, na gumagamit ng CD. Sobrang bago nung time na yun. Because everyone was going gaga about it. Tapos naalala ko yung moment na papabili ako sa tatay ko ng PlayStation. Tapos outright sinabi niya, hindi. Hindi pwede. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi niya, wala tayong pera. Wala tayong pera. Tapos ang thought bubble ko, hindi naman ako sumabat, pero nag-aaral mo nga ako sa Ateneo, wala tayong pera.
Gusto ko yan.
Kasalanan pa nilang panasok ka sa mahal na school.
Marami akong moments actually na gano'n. Marami akong moments na pinag-aaral nga ako sa Ateneo, bakit hindi mo ako mabilhan ng ganito? dami through the years hanggang college yan. Naalala ko hanggang college. Nako-compare ko yung allowance ko sa allowance. Halimbawa, naalala ninyo nung college tayo, alam nyo ba na kung magkano ang allowance ko noon?
Magkano allowance ko noon?
80 pesos isang araw.
Pero girl, may sasakyan ka, 'di ba?
Wala.
Paano yung gas mo?
Wala.
Anong wala?
Yung sasakyan ko, kasi pinupuslit ko yung mga sasakyan namin sa bahay. Di ba? Hindi naman yung sa akin yun. Kapag naubos yung gas ng isang kotse, yung isang panipitaw sa isang kotse.
Once again, hindi ko mabigyan ng PlayStation tapos ang dami nating sasakyan.
Hindi naman. Dalawa lang naman yung sasakyan namin. No? Pero kung ano yung nandyan, yun yung ipupuslit ko. Pero ang allowance ko nun, 80 pesos. So naalala ko, ang hirap talaga nung college.
Correct.
Naalala ko ang rice meal nun, namamahalan talaga ako, 60 pesos. Sobrang treat sa akin nun. Kapag nakakabili ako nun. And normally, kung maalala ninyo, nag-survive talaga ako nun sa 12 pesos na turon at saka sa orange, sa 4 season na juice. Usually dun ko ginagamit yung lunch money ko. And then, nakakakain lang ako ng maayos. Alam niyo kung kailan?
Kailan?
Kapag may happy wounds, kapag rehearsal sa gabi. Sa rehearsal sa tanghalang Ateneo. Usually kasi may pakain,
correct,
diba? Sa theater. Nakakakain ako ng maayos kapag merong ganoon. Tapos kapag naiipon ko yung pera ko, tsaka ako
nasi-save up mo siya.
bibili or may mga mini racket, doon ako nakakabili ng rice.
Yes.
Hindi ko talaga magets nung time na yun. Bakit binabarat talaga ako ng tatay ko? Nandito kami sa Ateneo. Fast forward na ito na nga, bumukod ako sa pamilya ko, nag-solo living ako. And all of a sudden, kailangan ko magbayad ng kuryente. All of a sudden, kailangan magbayad ng association books, ng internet bill, at ng napakaraming bill na walang katapusan na ang substantial amount, lalo na nung time na yun na maliit yung sweldo ko, ang substantial amount yung nakakain. Tapos looking back, 3 kami noon na magkakapatid na pinag-aral sa Ateneo. At yung tatay ko hindi siya negosyante. Siya ay isang empleyado sa isang malaking kumpanya, in fairness naman. Malaking kumpanya, mataas naman yung posisyon niya. Pero I can just imagine, magpaaral ka ng 3 anak sa isang exclusive school.
Yeah.
Ngayon, mas naiintindihan ko na, kaya siguro ako tinitipid nung or hindi ko siya tinitipid, pero pinipili niya yung mga
pinaprioritize
niya, yung pinaprioritize niya yung budget. Binabudget niya talaga yung pera namin para yun nga, para maitawid kami sa exclusive school. Dahil naalala ko sinasabi niya, yan lang yung mabibigay ko talaga sa inyo, yung Ateneo education. Sinabi niya yun, sinasabi nila yun outright. Naalala ko sinabi nila yun outright. So, ngayon na kailangan kong pagkagastosan yung mga bills at nag-a-adulting na tayo, na-realize ko yung value, kung bakit binabudget ako ng tatay ko nung ako ay nasa kabataan, nung medyo kabataan. Mata pa naman.
Correct, Kasi kumbaga parang, ang ganda nung sinabi niya na parang yun yung Ateneo education mo, ang kumbaga baon ko para sa'yo. Yun talaga yung bagay. Hindi yung PlayStation. Yun ang talaga madadala mo buong buhay mo.
Ako, to be fair, never ako sinabihan ng magulang ko na maintindihan mo lang yan pag matanda ka na. Pero parang ako lang in general, and also like as a reflection as well of this K-drama, hindi natin ever na-realize, baka mayak na naman ako. Never natin na-realize yung extent ng sacrifice na ginagawa nila behind the scenes just for us. Just to provide whatever life they can provide to us at a certain time. Parang maybe as well as my experience as well as being a mother, na ang dami mong kailangang tanggalin sa sarili mo. Hindi mo na, kapag nanay or tatay ka na kasi, hindi mo na uunahin yung sarili mong needs. Like, a thing, maybe because of what JJ said as well, As in, nung bata pa si Thena, like maybe nung anak ko, parang 3-4 years old. Tas, ang mahal ng formula, guys. At dahil parang may allergy, whatever pa siya, yung mas mahal na kind of formula pa yung meron siya. So, nung time na yun, parang naalala ko, nagkita kami ng hindi ko pa siya asawa ng time na yun. Anyway, nagkita kami somewhere, tapos nun, gusto namin sanang kumain sa labas. Tapos nun, minention ko sa kanya na, sandali, kailangan muna natin bumili ng formula.
Gatas.
And then, yung formula kasi, it was like 1.5 or something. At noong time na yun, mahal siya. Mahal talaga, girl, ang punyetang formula. So, parang, hindi na, ang babaw, pero hindi na kami kumain sa labas. As in, pinagsama namin yung pera namin para lang umabot, pangbili ng formula, pangbayad ng parking, panggas, para mahatid ako pa uwi. At siya din kasi, malayo pa yung bahay niya. Yung mga ganong mga bagay na sobrang, kung isipin mo, parang nakakatawa na lang siya right now. And medyo mababaw. And ngayon ko lang din na-realize na, ano kaya yung extent ng sacrifice na ginawa nila sa akin dati? Kasi hindi ko siya na-realize. And ngayon, ang dami ko rin, personally, sacrifices for my daughter. Pero parang, hindi din para sa akin, para ipamukha sa kanya yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gagawin mo lang yun kasi nanay ka eh. Ayun.
Ikaw, Trency?
Yung realization ko talaga ngayon ng parents ko is, di ba naglipat bahay kasi kami. I was going through my parents' things, mga luman lang stuff, yung papeles, ganyan. And then I came upon, like, yung mga lumang news articles about my mom. Kasi she used to work in government and she was fantastic at her job. Alam mo naman sa gobyerno, parang pag sinabing CPA ka, COA ka, automatic parang COA? Pero honest to goodness, she's just really one of the best out there. Alam mo, and she was always like straight. Alam mo yun? At alam mo yun, and tatay ko nagpaaral sa amin, hindi siya. Just to emphasize. Alam mo yun? Pero she's just a woman, a power woman talaga. And I only know her as my mother. Alam mo yun? Growing up, ang dami nangyayari sa career, sa trabaho niya and stuff, na hindi ko fully nare-realize. Kasi I guess syempre, bata ka pa. Tapos, and I think they've also shielded us kasi from all of that chaos. Alam mo yun? Magsasabi siya every now and then, pero parang the full extent, hindi naman din namin naiintindihan. At hindi rin naman din niya sinasabi in full. So anyway, I was going through her stuff and I saw these news articles. And doon ko na-realize na, oh my God, like, parang may ibang pagkatao siya na hindi ko fully nare-realize. And baka hindi ko rin fully ma-realize ever in my life. Alam mo, these are what I know of her. I mean, syempre, limited perception ka lang naman. You only know what you know, diba? Pero, she is so much more than what I know of her lang. Alam mo yun? And daddy ko din. Parang yun naman yung, parat ko sinasabi naman din dito sa Wanta Sarang, na yun yung journey ko the past couple of years. Is like, trying to get to know my parents outside of them just being my parents. Alam mo yun? Especially my dad. God, my dad is like one chick. Ang inakapitan pa siya ng barko. Alam mo yun? Yung pa yung parang kaya sobrang resonate siya sa akin na quiet lang, alam mo yun? Hindi siya as loving as Guanxik. Wala siyang ganon. Hindi siya pinalaki ng ganon ng kanyang
Hindi kanya
ama.
binigyan ng peace.
Hindi niya binigyan ng peace, ganon. Wala siyang ganon. Pero, you know, he shows it in his own very quiet way. And also coming from his own history na nalaman ko lang din recently na when I was like hanging out with like family from his side, that when they were telling stories about him, I was asking about him, ganyan. Parang, okay, kaya pala siya ganyan. Kasi may ganito pala siya lumaki. Ganon. And whenever my mom tells me nung bata ako na, alam mo yun, parang ganito ako, ganyan. Parang ako like, you're so limited with what you think of them. But then, parang now na I'm older and more open and more patient to their stories, kung mga ginagawa nila. Parang mas nare-realize ko lahat yun. Hindi pa ako umaabot sa punto na parang maintindihan mo yan pag tumanda ka na, pag may anak ka na, kasi wala pa. I only have my cats. But I guess siguro yung masasabi ko na lang is, yes, magastos magkaroon ng anak. Regardless kung tao yan o hayop.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
Mom and Dad, you're right. It's hard to have children, whether it's 2-legged or 4.
But sorry, I just need to add to that. Like, I mean, obviously, finances, expenses are a huge part of life. Ang hirap kumilos kung walang pera. Pero ang dami ding mga sacrifices in terms of like emotional stuff na hindi natin na-realize na ginawa din ng magulang natin. Kunwari, unahin mo pa yung anak mo kung yung anak mo may pinagdadaanan siya. Na parang, teka lang, may pinagdadaanan siya, ako rin, as a person.
Correct.
May pinagdadaanan, pero hindi ko yun pwedeng i-focus right now. Set aside everything and focus on the kid first. So parang isa din yun sa mga iniisip ko lately na, gaano din kaya kadami yung mga sinacrifice ng parents ko emotionally and even like mental health para lang siguraduhin okay ako.
And I would also like to hug you, Pia.
Wag, naiyak ako.
Because you're doing such a great job.
Ano ba?
As in.
Bravo.
I mean, we've been part of you and Tina's life for a very long time.
Since the beginning.
Since the very beginning. And you're doing such a great job.
It takes a village. Thank you, guys. Big hug, big hug.
So tayo yung mga hen.
Okay, at bilang pinag-uusapan natin ating years-long friendship, at sana maging friends pa rin tayo hanggang 80 years old tayo, naway tayo ay mag-survive that long without losing our memory or our ability to walk. So ito ang tanong ko, what would you want to say to your 80-year-old self? And I also bring this up because like towards the end of the show, may parang VO or like nakalagay doon na saying, which really struck me, yung sinabi na parang, here's to all you've been through. And I think that was also the title of the last episode.
Yes.
So kaya parang ko like, holy shit, parang here's to all, cheers to the life that you've led. And that is something you would say to yourself, I guess, when you're older or someone who's older, diba? To celebrate their life. So ikaw, kung pupunta ka in the future para kausapin ng 80-year-old self mo, what would you tell them?
Ako siguro, dalawang bagay. Si Eson, di ba? Malinaw nung bata, nung nag-aaral pa lang siya, malinaw sa kanya na kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin.
Yes.
At yun ay maging isang makata, maging isang poet. Pero sinakripisyo niya yun, kinalimutan niya yun dahil alam niyang merong mas mahalaga kaysa sa personal niyang pangarap. Pero ang isa naman sa mga biyaya nung palabas na yon, nakita natin yung scale nung palabas kasi nakita natin sa huli na nagkaroon siya ng pagkakataon na balikan towards the end of her life yung kanyang original na pangarap nung kanyang pagkabata. Na-realize ko lahat tayo merong mga gano'n masidhi, malalim na pangarap kabataan natin. Kailangan nating isakripisyo dahil sa mga realidad ng buhay. So siguro isa sa mga una kong tatanungin sa 80 years old na sarili ko. Nabalikan mo ba yung o talagang kinalimutan mo na yung masidhi, malalim at isa sa mga unang pangarap mo kabataan. Alam nyo naman yun, di ba?
Yes.
Alam nyo na ang pangarap ko talaga ay maging artista ng teatro. Pero di siya nag-pan out as kung paano ko siya in-imagine. Kasi nga, may mga realidad sa buhay na kailangan kong harapin in the same manner na doon ko na medyo na-compare yung sarili ko kay Eson. Kailangan ko isakripisyo ito kasi meron ibang bagay na mas kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin. Okay ba? Wala ka bang pagsisisi? Nagawa mo ba yung lahat ng mga gusto mong gawin? At nasabi mo ang lahat ng mga gusto mong sabihin?
Yeah. Grabe yung wala ka bang pagsisisi. Whew.
A life well lived, di ba? No regrets.
Exactly. No regrets.
Tinapon niya yung pangarap niya for the person na mahal niya, na kahit maghirap sila.
Siguro ako yung pag makausap ko yung 80-year-old self ko naman. And this has always been in my head. Matagal na to. Na, okay, medyo morbid ha. Pero parang, morbid, pero kasi it will eventually happen. But when I finally cross the Rainbow Bridge, because I'm a cat. When I finally cross the Rainbow Bridge, ang gusto kong tumutugtog is Let's Get Loud. Because I want it to be a celebration of my life. Alam mo yun. And kaya that last scene talaga, naiyak ako ulit. Nung nasa deathbed na si Guanxik, tapos sabi niya kay Esu na parang, when you look at me the last time, I want you to smile. I mean, I don't want to see you cry. I want you to smile alam mo yun, send me off with a smile. Parang ganun. I mean, that's how, I mean, ano naman, parang disregard doon masyado of people's feelings. But you can cry and smile at the same time. And for me, parang, yun din yung gusto kong maging pangyayari. Na parang, she lived a good life. And I think what I would tell myself is, I'm glad you had fun. Have fun in the afterlife with all your guys.
Yun so naman yung mahalaga Naging masaya ka ba?
Exactly.
Naging masaya ka ba?
Exactly.
Correct.
Sa akin, yung kanta is Hot ng 70. We'll drop it like hot.
Kasi mainit sa impyerno.
Hot. Ay, grabe. Yung naman sa impyerno. Gusto ko lang sumasayo yung mga tao na. Na-joke lang. Wag naman hot. Pretty you. Charis. 17 fan pa rin ka. Diba? Or beautiful, tapos may confetti.
Ang saya. Habang binababahan na, beautiful!
Diba? Ang ganda. Tapos may confetti din na nakashape ng bulaklak. Para masaya lahat ng tao. Yan yung gusto ko. Pero grabe kasi bilang age reveal, magpo-40 na ako this year. So, napaisip ako na, wow, 2065, I will be 80. Ang gusto ko lang sabihin sa 80-year-old Pia na parang, girl!
Halfway through.
I know, right? Girl! 80 ka na, inom ka pa rin ng inom ng whiskey. Go! Yan yata yung secret, pampahaba ng buhay.
Live your life!
Yes, enjoy all the Dalmores. Ganyan. Wow, name, brand drop. Can you tell me how you were able to get through all the hard things? Because somehow life has a way of giving you all the hard things all at once, all in one blow. And it's hard. Tell me how, because it's so hard. And I just want to go forward to that place where I can just drink my whiskey and just be happy with my life. I can't wait to finally just relax and look back because right now, I'm so tired of looking forward. Yun lang, kay 80-year-old Pia. Because sure akong happy siya. At wala siya sa space kung nasan ako ngayon.
Naway bisitahin mo 80-year-old Pia turning 40-year-old Pia tonight.
Nakatakot! Tapos sumasayaw din siya. Alam mo yung masakit na yung likod niya pero nag-hot-hot pa rin.
Correct! A lot of hugs for you. Cheers to a life that is well-lived or will be well-lived. What?
Yes.
At sa mga sarang base na nakikinig ngayon, and pinagninilayan nyo rin yung tanong na yan. Good job. Joke lang.
I think yun yung, di ba, yun yung kinaganda ng mga drama tulad ng When Life Gives You Tangerines. Mga slice of life na drama. It makes you reflect na gagamit mo siya bilang benchmark.
Yes.
Comparing your life and makes you reflect. Kamusta yung estado ng buhay ko ngayon as compared to this? And helps you navigate the complexity of your own path.
Correct. Totoo yan. So, to more dramas like these.
Yeah.
The written well, acted well, makes you feel a lot. And you will carry it. You will carry it for a very, very long time. And you will learn a lot from it. Hindi namin kayo bibitinin. Okay? Dahil magkakaroon din tayo ng game. As you all know, guys, dito sa One to Sarah.
Let's go.
We always end with a game. At dahil sobrang medyo heavy conversation na tayo nang galing, we'll make it very light and fun. Because, as I've said, we're gonna do modern day poetry, aka a rap battle!
Oh my God!
Let's get it!
Ang hirap. Okay, let's go.
This game was made specifically because you're
Oh my
here.
God.
Yes.
My
I
brain
wanna see how good
cells.
you are with your words. Alam mo, sa start, medyo mahirap siya. Pero once you get the flow, ang saya niyang gawin.
Okay, let's see.
Oo. Ang rap battle to, basically, na sa mga Sarang Bleach na pakinggan nyo no, paano namin ito ginawa before. So, ang mangyayari dito is, we will be providing a word, and kailangan gumawa kami ng rap verse, 2 rap verses with the second rap verse rhyming with the first one. So, yung mga words na gagamitin namin ay mga galing or in relation to the show. Sige,
Kinakabahan
sis.
ako.
Magkakabahan. Simulan natin sa madali. Our first word that we will be rap battling with is, dalian natin, dagat.
Okay.
For the Jeju Sea. Okay, sige, mag-order muna tayo.
Surprise mo na lang kami.
Anong surprise? What do you mean?
Kung sino yung kasunod, ganon.
Pia, get it down. Parang bigla ka na lang doon.
Sige.
Pia, get it down.
Sige. Alam mo, sinuggest mo yan, kaya ikaw nasunod. So, ito na. Sisimulan ni Trency, and then bahala si Trency kung sinong kasunod.
Okay.
Okay.
Atapa.
I'm ready. Trency Peso in the house. Yes. Dagat is the word. What? Mahilig ako mag-swimming sa dagat. Marami dong kumakagat. Yeah, that's the word. JJ Stern!
Yeah. Thank you. Trency. Oh yeah, thank you. Trency. Sinabi ko ang dagat, sinabi mo ang dagat, paborito mo ang dagat, paborito ko rin ang dagat. Kaya lang.
Versus lang.
Nakapunta sa dagat. Oh, how I miss dagat. Oh, I miss the dagat. Boracay and dagat. Nawala na ako. Pero, dagat pa rin. Sasabihin dahil meron pa rin music at namimiss ko na ang dagat. Here, get it down!
Si JJ, namimiss na niya ang dagat. Ang haba ng sinabi niya at maalat. And, hindi ko kinaya sobrang haba. Akala ko 2 verses lang.
Okay, I love it. I love the enthusiasm and the amazing returns.
Despite the lack of substance.
Yes! Sobra. Also, despite the not following directions.
ang haba. Tsaka puro dagat lang yung niray niya sa dagat.
Si JJ full album yung binigay sa atin. Let's go with the next word, which is croaker.
Ano yun? Ano yung croaker?
Yung isda, yung sinasabi nila. Parating mini-mention yun. Yung isda na hindi niya pinapakain kay Asun.
Ano sa Tagalog ang croaker?
Tilapia.
Hindi, imposible kasi tilapia ay eat sa fresh water.
Wow! Scientist.
Diba? Nasa dagat sila.
Hindi ko talaga alam kung ano yung croaker, man. Croaker. Oo.
What is a croaker?
Oh my God, nag-research siya.
Ano sa Tagalog ang croaker?
Okay, so in local, it's alakaak.
Alakaak?
Oo. Okay, other names for croaker in the Philippines include tuwel, balat, and dulama. It's also called alakaak in Tagalog.
The hell?
First time ko lang marinig tong isdang to. But I guess in Korea, it's very
common.
Oh, it's from the Cyanidae family.
Hindi ko sila kilala.
Ano
This
yun?
family is
Ibig
also
sabihin
known
nun?
as the drum family.
Ano ibig sabihin pa rin?
A key characteristic is their ability to produce a croaking or drumming sound by vibrating their swim bladder.
Oh my God, thank you so much for this insight. Kasi now, we know that this fish can rap. Because it can croak. Pia, are you ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready to rumble still, Stinuko? Okay.
Let's go.
1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, go!
Okay, sandali lang. Bumubuelo ako. Sige, go lang. Sa K-drama, si Ayu kumain ng croaker. Huli natin siyang nakita sa broker.
Wow!
Next naman!
Break it down!
Trency, break it down!
Yeah! Ang mga henyo kumukuha ng croaker. Hindi nila alam na ito ay JJ! It's your turn.
Croaker o croaker, hindi ko magets kung bakit palaka ang aking nagigets. Sa croaker. Break it down.
Croaker.
Okay, so hi Siren Base. I hope you enjoyed our little rap battle at 12:41 a.m. in the morning. after a very long week. Salamat sa pag-unlock sa aming maliit na game. And also, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Sobrang dami po namin pinag-usapan. At sobrang dami din po namin iyak. Salamat sa panonood. And lastly, pakalakpakan po natin na aming guest for today sa kanyang mga insights. JJ, tama na pag-research ng mga croakers.
Croaker na hinahanap. Paano mo nalaman?
Of course!
Basang-basa ka na namin.
Oo, nakikita naman yung mukha mo yung nagmumukha ng palaka eh.
Diba? Para siya talagang palaka. Pero ang layo ng itsura ng croaker sa palaka.
Correct. Oo nga. At mga sarang base namin, kung alam nyo ang croaker,
Atlantic
alam
croaker.
nyo kung ano ang Filipino name ng isang croaker.
Alakaak.
Huwag mo ka sabihin kasi quiz to para sa kanila. And if you're enjoying our episodes like JJ is enjoying our content right now, we'd love your support. Please hit that follow button and give us 5-star reviews on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. JJ, binigyan nyo ba kami ng review?
I-like mo kami, tsaka bigyan na review.
Like mo kami.
Nire-like ko kaya kayo pag nakikita ko kayo sa Instagram.
Ay, salamat
okay,
po.
Kasamnida.
Alam mo naman kung bakit? Because your feedback helps us grow and brings more amazing content your way. So guys, thank you so much. You're the best. Gumawa, Chegoya, and Saranghae. Thank you so much, JJ.
Kamsamnida.
Kamsamnida. We love you.
Ayan, ang aking Essen hairpin.
Essen hairpin. JJ, ano ang na-discover niyong bago tungkol sa croaker?
Pakishare.
Nagpaproduce siya ng sound. Ang amazing nga eh. Kaya croaker kasi may croak. Nagko-croak talaga siya.
Paki-demo nga.
Oo.
Demo mo sa amin yung croaker sound.
Croakak. Palaka pa rin. Croak.